Hello, it's Ron Holland again, talking about mentoring, and this time talking about specifically how to develop your own niche. So we're talking now to consultants who are already in the consultancy business, in the industry, but not making enough money. And my advice is always really start honing down on your own specific niche. Something that you are good at, something you enjoy, something that you love doing, where you can impart real serious knowledge and information to your clients. I often find that consultants in particular tend to be all things to all men and never make a huge amount of money because they're not concentrating on a niche. I'll give you a few examples of people that I work very, very closely with. I've got one guy in the city. His niche is specialising in financial PR. So helping groom companies and advise companies just before they're about to float. So he works with them 18 months, 12 months prior to flotation, grooming them, helping them, advising them, getting little snippets out there in the press, introducing them to journalists. And he's probably got maybe 30 or 40 clients at any one time that he works with in the course of the year. And he helps those clients with financial PR. I've got another lady. Funnily enough, she had a boob job, and a really good boob job, and she said to me, I can't think of any kind of niche where I could make a lot of money out of consultancy. But then she started telling me about her boob job, and what transpired out of the meeting was that she said trying to find the right plastic surgeon on Harley Street and how to get the right aftercare was a very, very difficult job. So she went out and made a lot of money as a niche market consultant, helping other women find the right and locate the right Harley Street surgeon to do the operation in the first place, and then most importantly the aftercare of that, the health and the psychology and everything, holding the women's hands for a long time after they'd actually had the surgery. And she went out and made a lot of money doing that. I've got another guy who his average fee is £1 million, and he's done this about 40 times, and he works with big public companies where the share price is taking a dive. He goes in, talks to the chief executive, and is very, very instrumental in hand holding and helping turn that company around to get the share price increase up. So it's a very, very tight niche, but he understands the big company market, and he works with big banks and big chains and all of that, publicly quoted companies, and helps get the share price onward and upward. There are hundreds of other little niches, and I'm always advising people, if you're into design, start a design consultancy, but hone in on that niche. Over the years, I've operated in a number of different niches. As you might remember, as a young man, I had the biggest chain of motorcycle shops in London, nearly went bankrupt, tied up with an old Irish mentor, Seamus O'Rourke, and we set up a consultancy practice just teaching people how to turn around their companies. So that was a specific niche. All we used to do and deal with was turnarounds. These days I'm more focused on raising money, so it's an absolute specific niche, raising money, and the niche is early stage and startup companies, so anywhere between 500,000 and 10 million. Early stage and startup companies, that's the niche, raising money. There's plenty of people out there raising money 10 million above, but this is a niche not a lot of people like, the early stage niche, which suits me perfectly. The other thing that I specialise in these days, and it is a tight niche, cost-effective marketing, helping people ramp up their sales. So when I start getting involved with consultants who are not making a lot of money, I get down, what are their passions? What are the things that they love doing? What are they good at? What can they absolutely excel in? What they can do over and over again. So they're not being all things to all men. They're offering one specific niche and going in and making a lot of money out of it. The other thing is, when I'm talking to people in niche market consultancy, decide where you want to get in on the food chain, right? So I'm early stage and startup companies. Roger, the guy I told you about, who dealt with the mature markets, the PLCs, where the share price was taking a dive. Obviously, those were mature companies. Ian, the other guy who did the financial PR, his was companies just prior to flotation. So they'd already been running 3 or 4 or 5 years and then going to float. So you need to decide exactly where on the food chain you think you can corner out and carve out your niche, and then start getting into that niche. And it's understanding that food chain, particularly in the industry that you're going to be offering your consultancy services. Understand that food chain, and that will help you tremendously. In a few days' time, I'm going to be talking to you other specific things, helping consultants make big fat fees out of niche market consultancy. That's enough for today. I'm going to see you soon. Check out my website, wealth.co.uk, and that's wealth as in having lots of money, which is what you're going to have soon. See you soon. Thank you.